Now we turn our attention to something really positive. The school holidays are almost here. Hang in there, guys. But you might be wondering, as a family, how can you save on your family's holiday trip? Well, today, Travelstart is having an exclusive one-day only sale, and you can book flights for the June and July, December, January school holidays from as little as, get this, 519 Rand.
Exciting thing as well. Now get ready to reap those savings and spoil yourself and the kids with a fantastic school holiday trip when you visit travelstart.co.za today and book your flights from as little as 519 Rand. Now don't miss out. Get clicking and get packing for your next adventure with Travelstart. We're now turning our attention back to traveling. You've booked your flight on travelstart.co.za and you're ready to jet off on that new adventure. But we all know the necessary evil of a long wait in an airport with nowhere comfortable to sit, perhaps a tired kid on either knee, bad coffee, or just time seems to stretch on forever. While most of us would prefer a direct flight, layovers are often unavoidable. Luckily, Travelstart's Erik Dedekind is here to show us that a layover can be time well spent, possibly even long enough to go and see somewhere or at least something beyond the airport walls. Erik, good morning.
Morning.
You know what, when I think of a layover, I would generally want to find a spot to sleep, catch up on, just being on the ground. But why would you recommend people to rather step outside, explore a little bit more?
Well, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, there are a lot of destinations that we don't need visas to go to. So when you do have a long connection, we often encourage going out, seeing the city, grabbing a quick lunch, and definitely also having a look at doing some shopping and sightseeing. And who wouldn't want to say, I've had lunch in Singapore on my way to Bali?
For a day.
Absolutely, exactly.
Now, what are some of South Africans' favourite layover destinations?
Definitely London, Dubai, Doha, Singapore, Hong Kong, Mauritius, and Johannesburg as well, for those who want to visit family or friends on their way from Cape Town or Durban or other parts of the country.
Now, my biggest fear when I'm thinking of leaving the airport, I've got a certain amount of time to basically wait for the next flight. How much time should you set apart if you're planning on leaving the airport but you have a connecting flight?
Well, the good news is most of the time the airlines will keep your luggage at the airport and put it on your next flights for you, so you don't have to worry about that part. But you never know what traffic will look like or if you get stuck in one of those amazing restaurants for that lunch. So we recommend probably getting to the airport 2 to 3 hours before departure of your next flight.
Okay, and when it comes to, because I remember I once had a very long layover, 13 hours in Germany. I didn't have a visa. What are some of the restrictions people need to keep in mind?
Well, often you would need to make sure, well, all the time you'd need to make sure whether visas are going to be required if you want to head into the city. So that's very important. Make sure you have enough clear pages in your passport as well, in case they need to stick a visa into your passport. And then, as I mentioned, your luggage does stay at the airport, so you won't have access to it. But just check with the check-in staff when you do check in for your flights, to make sure that they let you know what the procedure will be.
Do you get day visas to allow people to just explore a place within a day?
Oh, definitely. In certain destinations, obviously there's other destinations that will require you to apply for a visa beforehand. But many of the destinations will include a day visa for you.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Well, Erik, we will have more with Erik in just a little bit. So make sure you use your best judgment when trying to decide if you should venture into the city during your long layover. Every city is different and some will also be easier than others for maximizing a long wait. And remember, you can book any flight at travelstart.co.za and you also can receive a voucher for 50% off your next 2 Uber rides. That's to and from the airport.
I'm heading to Zanzibar, the Kingdom of Bhutan,
in Mauritius,
Angola. I always go back to Italy and Cape Town, of course.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we're continuing our conversation with Erik Dedekind from Travelstart, because we know the combination of long flights, crying babies and minimal sleep isn't enough. Adding an airport layover can often spell disaster, but that's why we have Erik here to help us out with, when you have that layover, what are some of the things you can go out and do?
Well, there's certain places like London, which is great for shopping, sightseeing and history. You can get the Heathrow or Gatwick Express into central London in less than 30 minutes.
Sure.
Hop on an underground and then go see Buckingham Palace or any of the shopping districts. Doha is a wonderful place to experience the Arab culture. It's absolutely beautiful there. The food is really great, and the Museum of Islamic Art is really special as well. Singapore is really, really great for those people who like gardens, greenery, orchids. A great shopping destination as well. And then you're looking at Hong Kong, which is for electronics, clothes, and a wide variety of Oriental food.
Oh, sounds incredible. Is it true that some destinations offer with a layover a free city tour?
There are a couple of destinations that do that. Singapore and Istanbul are two favorites, especially for South Africans. They have free city tour desks in the transit section of the airport. So you simply just get to the desk, show your passport and your ticket or boarding pass, and they book you on the next bus out of the airport into a city at no cost to you. As I've mentioned, your luggage stays at the airport. You won't have access to it. So just make sure to put the sunscreen, camera, and extra cash in your hand luggage.
Yeah, keep everything close by if you're going to go and explore. Now, in my mind, generally when I would book a flight, the most direct or quickest way possible. But from Travelstart's perspective, which destinations would you encourage people to book a longer layover and explore the city?
Well, if you're traveling into Asia, Hong Kong and Singapore are two really great stopover points. And then if you're going to the States or Europe, look at Istanbul. The airports are quite close to the city, so getting into the city and back to the airports is quite quick and simple. And really, really great options. And the nice news about that is that often we can deliberately add in a longer layover for you at no extra cost.
Okay.
So if you get the opportunity, take it.
Sounds good. Well, Erik, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And while traveling and going overseas can be a great adventure, long layovers in airports can also be one of the most tiring and frustrating ways to spend a few hours. But thanks to Travelstart, you can beat the layover blues by booking your next flight that's via an attractive layover destination. And remember, when you book any flight at travelstart.co.za, you will also receive a voucher for 50% off your next 2 Uber rides. That's to and from the airport.
Book on Travelstart. We will turn your guilt trips into good trips.
Well, we know that it is the middle of the month and nothing beats those mid-month blues like a sale. Now, if you want to travel over the school holidays and are looking to save some bucks, well, then listen closely because Travelstart, Africa's leading online travel agency, is having an exclusive one-day-only sale today, where you can book domestic flights during the June, July, and December, January school holidays from as little as 519 Rand. Now, all you have to do is cash in on this amazing offer, is head on over to travelstart.co.za and make your booking today. This is a sale where you definitely score a great deal and you get to enjoy a great holiday with some extra, randellas in your wallet, if you can put it that way. Now, search, compare, and book your travel all in one place. That's with Travelstart, and enjoy great savings with today's exclusive domestic flight sale.